Hello, I'm John Brooks, the Chief Medical Officer for CDC's Division of HIV/AIDS Prevention. And this morning, I'd like to introduce the National Initiative for Ending the HIV Epidemic in the U.S., a plan for America. I'm going to close my image now because I have a lot I want to share with you and I don't want my image cluttering the slides. I have no relevant financial affiliations to disclose. HIV has cost America too much for too long. Since 1981, approximately 700,000 Americans with HIV have died, most due to some aspect of the infection. At present, the U.S. government spends $28 billion for HIV prevention and care, and without intervention and despite substantial progress, CDC estimates there will be another 400,000 Americans with HIV over the next 10 years, and this despite available prevention tools. Today, we are at a critical crossroads in the U.S. HIV epidemic. Since its peak in the 1980s, when new infections almost reached 130,000 per year, we have seen a steady decline between 1985 and 2012. This is due to better and better prevention interventions. These have driven the number of new infections down to fewer than 40,000 annually. However, since 2013, after this period of decline, HIV infections have stabilized. We have stalled, and at present, the number of new infections each year hovers between 39,000 and 36,000. Now is the time to end the HIV epidemic. Not only do we have access to the most powerful HIV prevention and treatment tools in history, but cutting-edge prevention technologies and strategies help us identify where those services are most urgently needed so we can direct them. By equipping communities at risk with these tools, we can end the HIV epidemic in America. Ending the HIV Epidemic Initiative, or the EHE initiative, is built on 4 epidemiologic principles. Our goal is simple: reduce the prevalence of persons capable of transmitting HIV. We aim to achieve an incidence of less than 1 per 100,000 persons per year, which is the WHO's definition of epidemic control. We hope to reach a point where the deaths of persons reaching the end of their natural life exceeds new infections, and thereby prevalence falls. We can do this with 4 key steps. Diagnose all people with HIV as early as possible. Treat people with HIV rapidly and effectively to reach sustained viral suppression. Prevent new HIV transmissions using proven interventions like pre-exposure prophylaxis and syringe service programs, and be poised to respond quickly to potential HIV outbreaks to get needed prevention and treatment services to the people who need them. We hope over the next 5 years to reduce new infections by 75%, and by the end of 10 years by 90%. With an estimated lifetime health care cost of about $500,000 per person with HIV, CDC estimates that the EHE program goals, if achieved, will reduce federal medical expenditures for HIV by over $100 billion over the coming decade. This initiative requires the close collaboration of 6 operating divisions within the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, shown in the boxes to the right. As noted, this 10-year initiative aims to reduce new infections by 90% over 10 years, and we aim to do this by leveraging scientific advances in HIV prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and care, and to also leverage the highly successful programs of the HHS agencies related to HIV. Our first goal is to diagnose all persons with HIV as early as possible. Early diagnosis is essential to end the HIV epidemic, and yet, too few Americans have access to this life-saving treatment that every American deserves. We know now that about 1 in 2 or half of persons diagnosed with HIV have been living with the infection for 3 years or more, and that 1 in 4 persons, or about 25%, have had HIV for 7 years. CDC estimates that about 20% of persons are diagnosed with advanced disease, meaning they've had the infection for many years, and that less than 40% of people in America have ever been tested for HIV. This means that about 80% of annual new HIV infections are transmitted by people who don't yet know they have HIV or who are not in effective care. Second, we must treat people with HIV rapidly and effectively to help them reach sustained viral suppression. HIV treatment has 2 important benefits. First, effective treatment keeps people alive and healthy. And second, effective treatment with a suppressed viral load can prevent sexual transmission of the infection. So this means that the earlier you treat someone, the better their health and the less likely they are to transmit HIV onwards. We want to get people suppressed as quickly as we can after their diagnosis. This figure looks at the estimated fraction of persons by state who achieved viral suppression within 6 months of their diagnosis. We'd like most of the states shown here among those reporting to be in that 95% pink zone. You can see from the dark red, we have plenty of room for improvement. Third, we need to prevent new HIV transmissions by using proven interventions like pre-exposure prophylaxis and syringe service programs. Let me talk for just a moment about pre-exposure prophylaxis. PrEP is highly effective, but unfortunately underutilized. CDC estimates that over 1 million people might benefit from PrEP, but today, less than 25% of these people are using it. Now, we've seen some encouraging trends, particularly among men who have sex with men, or MSM, a group at particularly high risk of HIV infection. Between 2014 and 2017, the use of PrEP among MSM in the US rose from 6% to 35%, and awareness of PrEP increased from 60% to 90%. But let's hone in a little more on these values. Look at 2017. This is the use of PrEP broken down by race ethnicity, and the benefit is not evenly spread. Whites are using PrEP more than Blacks or Latinos. This is another important area for improvement. We also need syringe service programs to protect people who inject drugs from getting HIV. Since the Scott County outbreak of HIV among people who inject drugs in 2015, CDC has been concerned about a resurgence in infections in this group, where we have really driven new infections down. Following Scott County, CDC began promoting efforts around the country to expand syringe service programs, particularly in the 220 counties shown in green here. But despite all of this work, we continue to see clusters and outbreaks of HIV among people who inject drugs. This is going to be a critical area for future success, especially following the COVID pandemic and the economic damage that's it incurred. Okay, here we are, now I'm back. And I'd just like to close by saying that I very, very sincerely believe that ending the HIV epidemic in America is possible, but it's going to require all of us working together. We need to be disruptively innovative because now is the time. Thank you.